All right, welcome everybody to the mastermind call. Today is January 15th, 2020. The time is 4 or 5 p.m. This call is for the West Coast, USA and Canada. Welcome, welcome, welcome to those of you and welcome to all of you on the phone as well. Remember, if you're on the phone, you won't be able to interact with me unless you have the smartphone Zoom app downloaded onto your phone, and that will enable you to interact with me. I know some of you are driving and listening in at the same time, and I hope you drive safely and listen. And then we'll get into updates and collaborative opportunities, and then into coaching requests. Okay. And just checking in, can you all hear me okay? I'm in a different location today, but let me unmute everybody here. Can you all hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you fine, Sunil. This is Deb.
Oh, great. Thanks, Deb. All right, awesome. Okay, so I want to introduce you all to Sam Bennett. I actually met her she actually posted on another mastermind that I belong to about her webinar results, and I got very intrigued. So I reached out to her and we had a great conversation, and she gave me a tremendous download, which I shared a little bit of with you guys. And then I decided to invite her to come join us here to present to you guys. Originally from Chicago, Samantha Bennett is a creativity productivity specialist and the author of the best-selling Get It Done: From Procrastination to Creative Genius in 15 Minutes a Day. Pretty compelling topic, you ask me. Which Seth Godin called an instant classic, essential reading for anyone who wants to make a ruckus. Her latest bestseller is Start Right Where You Are: How Little Changes Can Make a Big Difference for Overwhelmed Procrastinators, Frustrated Overachievers, and Recovering Perfectionists. I'm sure none of us fit into those categories, but again, sounds really great. She's the creator of the Organized Artist Company, dedicated to helping tens of thousands of creative people get unstuck, helping them to focus and move forward on their goals. She's an award-winning marketing expert and speaker, having spent 15 years as a personal branding specialist for Sam Christensen Studios and been honored as an Ultimate Marketer finalist at InfusionCon. She's also an Infusionsoft certified consultant and reseller. So with that, I want to really invite Sam Bennett here. I'm going to make her the host. And Sam, take it away. I know you're going to share. I'm going to stop the share here so you can actually do that. There you go.
Great.
Welcome, Sam. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Sunil. Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Hi. So I just, I did one of my webinars. I do them fairly often. And, it turned out to be a $40,000 webinar, which I'm like, well, that's not bad for a Saturday afternoon. And I just thought I would share a few of the things that seem really obvious to me to do, but it turns out maybe aren't so obvious to everybody else. The first thing I do differently is I don't use slides. This is it, face-to-face. Thanks to Zoom and video conferencing, Zoom is such an incredible platform. It's so lightweight and easy to use and so reliable that I've stopped using slides entirely. I was never a big fan of them to begin with. I have almost never seen an idea that had to be conveyed visually. And I think the value of people seeing your face and being able to see your eyes, and especially when you learn to sort of really send your energy through the camera, send your love and your intentionality and your desire to help through, right? You got to don't look at yourself. You got to look at the camera and really through the camera. And this is true anytime you're getting your picture taken. But when you're live on video, there is nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. If you don't know your stuff, people are going to be able to tell right away. But when you do know your stuff, people are going to be able to tell that right away too. So the gesture that it makes towards authenticity, to just for people to just feel you. We get so much information from people visually. They can see you, they can hear you, they hear the resonance in your voice, they hear how connected you are to your material. And especially if you're just working from an outline and not from a script, they're going to sense your mastery of the material, whatever it is. So that's one, no slides. The second thing I do is don't introduce yourself right away. Nobody cares. It makes me nuts when I get onto a webinar and people are like, well, here's 20 minutes of my qualifications. Like, really, they're not there because of you. They're there because of them. So talk to them about them. 10, 15 minutes in, sure, give them a little bit of a bio, but build up to it first. You know, let them know that you see them, you hear them, you understand where they're at. So that's where I would start. Welcome them, thank them for coming, and say, look, you're the kind of person who, and you are here because, and here's what we're going to do today. We're going to cover X, Y, and Z. I usually at that point also say, you know, there's going to be a sales portion of our presentation, which will surprise exactly none of you. That's going to take about 2.5 minutes. And then I'm going to get to this other super important piece of information. So I tee all that up at the top to say, you're this kind of a person, you're in this kind of a pain, you're looking for this kind of a solution. Here's what we're going to cover today, A, B, and C. There's going to be a sales portion of our presentation. And then I'm going to give you this super ultra cool thing that I know you're really going to want. And I'm telling you last because I want you to stay through the whole thing. And I tend to be that transparent. I will tell them exactly what I'm doing and when and why I'm doing it. And then once I get into the teaching a little bit, you know, saying, okay, let's go back to, you know, who you are and the pain you're in. That's about when I'll put in my bio. I'll say, you know, you're this kind of a person, you're having this kind of experience, you're suffering this way. And I get it because that was me too, or that was my client too. And here's how that rolled out. And then you can be providing information about who you are and some credibility in some kind of context that means something to them, right? So point one, no slides. Point two, don't intro yourself right away, save it for a little bit in. And the third thing I do that's a little different is I put the sales pitch about halfway or 2/3 of the way through the webinar. I don't know why would people leave it to the end. That makes no sense to me because of course everybody knows it's coming and they get to the end and they're like, okay, peace out, bye, right? Everybody jumps off when you start your pitch. And if you do it about halfway or 2/3 of the way through, then you've got the whole rest of the webinar to keep referring back to your offer and to keep you know, illuminating more how your offer is going to help them if it's a good fit for them. The other thing I did this time, and I cannot believe it has taken me all these years to figure this out. I feel so dumb, but I did this and I will never do it another way. When I said, okay, now we're at the sales portion of our presentation. You know, I have this thing, in this case, it was a class. I have this workshop, this webinar series I want to offer you. And I said like one sentence about it. And it's this about this. But let me tell you what you get with it first. I told them the bonuses first. And the bonuses, of course, were all designed to overcome friction, to overcome objections. So I'm like, I'm doing this class. It's about this. Let me tell you what you get with it first. The first thing you get is this training I did called Money and Spirit that is designed to have you bring in cash during the actual training. So, you know, one person on the call made $500, another person made $300, another person was only able to listen to half of the recording the next day, and she made $7,000. Your mileage may vary, but that's the kind of results people were getting. You know, and that normally retails for $497. You also get this, you also get this, you also get this, you also get this. And so by the time I'd finished running down the bonuses, they were like, this is a lot. Like, wow, this is a really good bundle. You know, it's sort of like, I don't know, if you're a girl, you might be familiar with the Clinique bonus buy. If you're a guy, you might be familiar with the Clinique bonus buy, where you're like, you know what, I don't even care about whatever it is I have to buy to get the thing. I want the little bag with all the little samples in it. So tee up the bonuses first, have the bonuses overcome an objection. You know, in this case, it's, I can't afford it. It's like, well, I'm going to show you how to make money right away. You can do it, make money this afternoon if you want. Oh, I'm worried about the tech. Oh, well, you got a tech consult with my team. Oh, I don't like online stuff. I really only like one-on-one stuff. Well, you get a one-on-one time with me, you know, and I don't really offer private sessions. So it's really the only way to work with me one-on-one is to be enrolled in a program like this, et cetera, et cetera. And then I got into the, you know, I'm like, so those are the bonuses. And now here's the class itself. And then I said a little bit about what the class was and what we were going to cover and why it was important. And then just just to really drive things home, I said, and I can hear you all thinking, because I have not even told you how much the tuition for this course is, and you're already going, gosh, Sam, it's not really a very good time, and I'm not sure I can afford it. And let's just be clear that you telling me it's not a good time is really you telling me that you'd rather quit than fail. And I just let that sit there for a minute. And they're typing into the chat. They're like, oh, busted. I'm like, yes, you are. I said, because there is no time other than now. If I had done this 6 months ago, you'd be like, oh, I wish it was later. And if I did it 6 months from now, you would be like, oh, I wish it was before. There's no such thing as a better time than right now. There is only right now. Take action or don't. I said, and as far as the price goes, yeah, if you're having rent and grocery issues, not a good time for us to work together. But if you're anything above that, I don't know how you're affording to not do this, because this diet of free things, and I teed this up earlier in the call, but I'm like, this endless free webinar thing is not moving the needle for you. You're going to have to commit. You're going to have to invest. And I don't care if you do it with me or not, but you better do it with somebody, because you need better information than the information you're getting for free. So that's it. Those are my big 3 points.
Awesome. Well, yeah, and thank you. I know we have a short time with you. If you guys have any questions, please tee it up. But your point is really well taken. I think you really want to organically connect with people, is what I'm hearing. And, for some of us here who are not coaches necessarily, I wonder if you have any specific advice for those kinds of people and those kinds of offers. For example, you have a chiropractor here as well as doing nutritional consulting. Any word of advice for her in particular? Yeah,
it's the exact same thing. I mean, I'm not really a coach either. I don't have any coaching certification, and I don't call myself a coach. I think of myself more as a teacher or a mentor. But the principle of the thing is exactly the same. You want to talk to them about them.
Yeah.
Don't talk about you. Don't talk about your thing. Talk about them and their problem.
Yes.
If you can, here's one of the most valuable questions I learned to ask, and I used to have this taped up above my desk. How are they misunderstanding their problem? How are they misunderstanding their problem? Because they are misunderstanding their problem. If they understood their problem, they would have fixed it by now.
That's a good
right?
point. Yes.
Right? People aren't stupid. They're not lazy. People do stuff once they have the right information. So it's the doctor's office is a perfect example. Chiropractor is a perfect example. Somebody's going to walk in and go, doctor, I've got this terrible pain and I think it's from golf, I think, and you're going to go, let me ask you some questions first. Is it like this? Is it like this? Is it like this? And then you can give them an accurate diagnosis and say, you think this is a pain here from golf, but I can actually tell that this is a referred pain from, hip because you don't walk properly.
Right.
I mean, I'm making things up. I don't really know. But once you can recontextualize somebody's problem, and they go, oh, great. And then you say, now I've got this program to help you walk properly. You're like, sure, here's my American Express, right? Because you help them identify their problem, and then you offer a solution for it.
Yeah, so true. If you get to the heart of the problem, and usually the heart of the problem is almost never money or time. It has something with internal trust or something to that effect. So, your point is well taken, are you setting yourself up for failure? Can be very a good way of recontextualizing everything. Just a comment here from Ginny Townsend, who actually does help people with webinars. It's probably a good connection for you to talk to Ginny Townsend at some point as well.
I'd love to. Ping me, Jenny.
Ginny, any other comments or questions for you? I don't have control over the volume, so just go ahead and unmute yourself, Ginny, if you have any questions.
Well, I was cheering when Sam, when you were talking and saying, talk about them and their problem. People don't get on a webinar to hear about you. And especially if you offer a recording, that's what people always skip over, right? Just like skip, let's get to the good stuff, like why I'm actually here. So anyway, and I love the notion of not using slides. I think I should actually test that out more with my clients. So anyway, thank you for bringing the gold, like I said.
My pleasure, Jenny. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I have a comment, Sunil, or a question, I guess. For one thing, Ginny would be perfect on camera. She's gorgeous and smart and everything. So that's a real good decision. Now, I look at you as being all in on video. You've got a great set, hair, makeup, lighting. Um, and how do you handle that? Because I really, having been with NBC in New York and uh, pretty video savvy, I tell people, look, unless you're all in on video, don't be on video. There's some great screen capture videos, but you've done the work of being able to handle live on camera video. What advice do you give people to quickly get to that point?
That's a great question. And it's true. I leverage a lot of sort of unconscious competence around my on-camera abilities because my background's in theater. I'm an actor. So like I've spent a zillion hours on television. I've spent a zillion hours on stage, and I made most of my money as an improviser. So speaking extemporaneously is how I made my living for about almost 20 years. So in some ways I don't have any, like go back in time and be an actor would be sort of number one. But I think the simplest things are the easiest. Have your camera above eye level. I'm sitting in front of a window. This is mostly natural light with just a little ring light over to balance out the light over on the side. Have a neutral background, not a distracting background. And mostly just practice. Your first webinar is not going to be your best one. The first time you're on camera is not going to be your most comfortable experience. But start doing, just do little Facebook Lives. Do them 2-3 minutes at a time, 10-20 minutes at a time. Again, you'll get used to it. You'll get used to fielding questions and having, being able to sort of drive and navigate at the same time. It's not that hard. And I'd rather see someone who's not super camera-genic, is that a word? And even not very comfortable on camera, but is showing me their real self and their real expertise. And again, if you can call it out right away, if you can say, hi, I'm the nerd who's never been in front of camera before. I have a tendency to talk slow and tell bad jokes, but I'm telling you there's gold in here, so stick with me, right? If you can call it out and say what everybody's thinking already, it's very charismatic. So I wouldn't worry about being young or good looking or particularly, camera savvy.
Thanks.
Sure.
All right. Any other questions for Samantha? Yeah, I love what you said too, because it really doesn't have to be that hard. One can get really wrapped up in the technicalities of it all,
Sure.
but it's really a function of who you're being in front of the camera rather than what you look like. It's that originality and authenticity that really comes true. So you can always set it out. I remember my first presentation was a total disaster because I was trying to look good.
Of course. I have a friend who's a photographer, and her mentor used to tell her whenever she got mad because she didn't capture a photo that she wanted, her mentor would say, well, Aaron, the first 1,000,000 frames are the hardest. It's true, the first 10,000 hours are the toughest,
Right.
But the more you do it, the better you'll get. And like I said, even doing it poorly, I think is better than not doing it at all.
Absolutely.
So I'm not quite sure. Are you only here for 15 minutes? Or are you doing an entire presentation, or is this a little drop-in visit?
It's a drop-in visit, so we're going to complete in about a few minutes here, and Samantha's also going to make us an offer we can't refuse. So
Okay, great. That's what I was wondering. Thanks, because otherwise I was going to ask for your contact info, but please proceed. Sorry.
All right. Well, Samantha, if you'd like to go ahead and make your invitation, which I'm sure is
Yeah,
great.
no, I just have a very fun free training that's called the Procrastination Domination Starter Kit. And it's just a very simple online webinar that on demand that helps you figure out which of your 137 ideas you should be working on right now. And then there's another really short part at the end that has to do with dealing with compliments and criticisms, whether they're coming from outside of your head or inside of your head, because, we're always worried about what everybody else thinks. It's impossible not to. We're tribal animals. That's who we are. Of course, we're going to care about what everybody else thinks. And while the criticisms can be hard, sometimes the compliments are even worse, right? You get that like, oh no, everybody thinks I'm great. Now I got to be great all the time. Oh no. It's really fun. It has like kind of a 100% success rate. So you're free to check that out. And then you'll be on my email list when it'll allow you to see how I use email marketing, which is another thing that I think people misunderstand how to use.
Brilliant. So do you want to post a link on our chat box, or you
Yeah,
want to
you know what?
email us out? Yeah.
I made you a bit.ly, and now I can't remember what it. I think it's bit.ly and then Sunil PDSK or something for Procrastination Domination Starter Kit. You can also just opt in on my homepage. If you go to therealsambennett.com
Okay.
and opt in there, it'll that might take you to something slightly different, but it'll still get you on my list. So, and you can always email me. You can email me at sam@therealsambennett.com, SAMBENNETT, and request the Procrastination Domination Starter Kit, and we'll get you that link.
Okay, that sounds great. Okay, and so Mike, does that give you enough to?
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Yep.
Sure.
Okay, very great. And I'll email that bit.ly later tonight, so everybody will get the
Oh, great. That's true.
my link as well.
Great.
Okay.
Great. So I'm going to let you guys get on with your masterminds. Neil, I'm going to make you the host again. Thank you all so much for having me. It was a real pleasure to visit, and definitely email me if you've got questions or things you want to talk about. I love nerding out about this stuff. So give me a call.
Thank you, Sam. Brilliant.
Yeah, thank you. Really great. Sam, can you, before you leave, can you just make me the host again? I'm not sure how to do that.
Done and done.
Okay, great. And
you bet.
Right. Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right. Okay. Great. I hope you guys got value out of that. And I certainly did. I mean, I took a couple of notes as well that I didn't get from my original conversation with her, so that was really good. And make sure you all reach out to her and get connected with her, etc., etc. Okay. Just getting back to my thing here. All right, and share. Okay. All right, great. And can you all see my screen now? And can you all hear me? Everybody can hear me? Mike, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Yeah.
You can? Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, the internet here is kind of weird. Okay, very good. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I'm going to talk real loud because I know I've got some background noise, etc. So we'll try and work with all that. This is what it looks like when it's working. Hate to see what it looks like when it's not working. Anyway, all right, let's get my chat box up here too. So, okay, good. All right, great. Just quick feedback. Was that useful for you all? Any questions or anything else that wasn't
just
covered?
A quick comment. I thought it was great, and I thought it was really a different take on. I just wrapped up a very slide-centric webinar, very heavily slided. So it was nice to get that fresh take on it. The other thing that struck me is that Toastmasters is a brilliant place for anybody to kind of practice, like she was saying, improv, and just let it go. It's for like $50 for 6 months, Toastmasters is a wonderful place to be bad so you can get good. So I would say anybody who wants to do webinars like she does, go to Toastmasters, just throw it all out there, kind of like she does, and then use that personality like she's doing on for webinars. That's one thing. The other thing, and just a quick note, is I recently bought a headset called the Jabra Evolve 75, and I bought a used one on Amazon. I think it was about $100, down from about $250. But it's really a sound suppressing so if you're going to spend a lot of time where you are, Sunil, you might want to look at that, because it really kills the background noise.
Yeah, well, oh, okay. And what is it called again? Sorry.
It's called the Jabra Evolve $75. I bought one on Amazon, and I found one used. I think it was around $100.
Oh, okay, cool. Cool. I mean, I think I could. I mean, what's the difference between using that and an earpiece, or not an earpiece?
No, it's the microphone doesn't pick up. So it's a sound suppressing microphone and headset, so that you don't hear the background noise. Your viewers don't hear the background noise.
Very useful. Yeah. And it's called a Jabra, Jabra.
Yes, Evolve 75.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's tremendously useful. Yeah, thank you for that. I know this place is driving me crazy because I can see the internet going in and out. So if you're not hearing me, just let me know, and I'll make sure I repeat stuff if I need to. Okay, very good. Again, welcome to everybody. Again, I know some of you just joined us. Welcome to the call here. So okay, good. Let's move on to. So remember, send in your questions. And I think Ginny, you also had a question earlier, and Bernadine, you have a question, so I'll get to you guys here pretty soon. So that was great having. I'm going to have more guest speakers this year because I've been talking to a lot of higher level masters, and I'm always up to learning as well. And my threshold for expertise has gone up too, so I'll try and get really good people for you in the near future. I'm looking to bring Bill Bellew. Some of you may remember him from a previous call where he talked about Google Analytics. So I'll try and get him in the next few weeks here, FYI. Okay, so in the interest of time, let me go to Bernadine first because I know she's got to leave at 5, and then I'll get to Ginny Townsend's questions here. I want to make sure I serve you guys. So let me bring in Bernadine. Hey, Bernadine.
Hi, Sunil. Thanks for taking me.
Sure, you're welcome. Let's see. And so let's take a look at your events in Santa Cruz are not filling, which I'm not surprised because Santa Cruz population is rather low.
Exactly.
The engagement's also pretty low. You're going to get much higher engagement. I mean, I've tested out both Santa Cruz and San Jose. Obviously, you're going to get higher engagement in San Jose. It just goes, that's the reason. You may want to.
So I had my event scheduled for tonight, and so that's the San Jose one that I'm sorry. Why does it say Saturday, January 18th? That's weird. That's not me. Okay, that's something else. Sorry, I'm looking at your screen. So I was going to have my event tonight, and I had one person RSVP. I listed it 2 weeks ago, and then she took herself out. So it was like, I don't want to keep doing this because, I mean, granted, I just came back from my trip, so there has not been consistency. So I want to consider that, but I wanted to get your opinion because the Santa Cruz thing is definitely an issue, and it's an issue that other people, and I have big groups. I mean, what do I have? 294 members.
Right. You have 294 members.
So
go ahead.
Yeah, so I don't know what to do at this point. And I don't want to close the groups. I definitely want to utilize that community. I'm just not sure how, but right now it's just frustrating. So what I'm thinking of doing is listing other people's events here in town, because you know me, I know everyone, and I'm a big networker, and there's a couple different women that are hosting events that, you know, I could expose. So I was thinking about just listing their events and, you know, saying go to them as part of Women Who Are Up to Something and do a little intro. And then at some point, you know, when I have a little more bandwidth for, let me try this again, now that there's a momentum of consistent events that maybe women are paying attention to and going to, and, you know, there's options, like there's a variety versus like, you know, oh, Bernadine at Blessed Be again, maybe I'll do it next time she offers it. That way it's more like scarcity, you know, it's like, oh, it's Bernadine. It's not those other women. Like, this is my chance to go. So what do you think of that?
That's probably a good idea.
Okay.
And so if you post like 1 or 2, maybe 2 or 3, even as many events if you want, really can knock yourself out, really.
Yep.
And you see the benefit to you if you do that is for every in-person event you do in Santa Cruz, you can do a webinar.
Yeah, so then I can focus on my webinars, and then I can list my webinars in my San Jose groups and in my San Jose groups, and it'll just be more of the same. Yes. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a pretty good solution. Senator Hughes suggested trying different locations, see if that's a better, and that can be. Like if you do it downtown versus sometimes downtown is really hard to get to in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, no, I have a good location. I think I just want to take a break from it because I'm frustrated, and because even Sandra hosted, I had her do an event while I was gone, and she had some RSVPs and nobody showed up. So I don't want to do that to other people either. Like I just don't want to it's not working the way that I'm doing
Santa
it.
Cruz
So.
it's a tough cookie to crack. It's it's kind of like a bedroom community, so people don't really do a lot unless it's has to do with fun, or like not so much fun, but what can I say, like eating or drinking or something like that.
Well, I also have noticed, like, if it's an established audience, then there's already a reference for like a background of relatedness, and then people will be like, oh, I already know those people, I want to be part of that, and they'll show up, because they already know what to expect, and they trust what's going on, and they know what it's about. So that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to work on creating audiences and other platforms and other people, and more spreading the word in different ways. And then I'll be like, I'm having a meetup, and then everyone will be like, ooh, I want to get there,
Yeah.
So
well,
that's my
and
plan.
you can also, as an option, may not work, but I think it could work. You could post your San Jose events in the Santa Cruz group, and you might get a few people from Santa Cruz coming over to San Jose. And some people work in San Jose and live in Santa Cruz, so they want to work. See? So you could do that as well.
Okay, cool. That's really helpful.
Yeah, you're welcome. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Sunil.
Sure, you're welcome.
Oh, and I want to schedule a call with you one-on-one. Should I just send you an email about that?
Yeah, just send me an email.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, no worries. Okay, back to this flow here. We have a new member. She's going to be joining us on the calls in about 2 weeks. And I'll keep you apprised of that. Let's see. A couple of things here. Just a reminder, if you're especially if you're listening to a recording, if you want me to introduce you to someone, just let me know and I'll be happy to do that. Yeah, Tony, I got your message to you here. I'll debrief with you. I look forward to that. That's great. And I want to review the topics that we can cover on these calls, just to pique your curiosity a little bit so you can ask other questions as well. So obviously we cover meetups, but we also cover webinar strategy. We also cover LinkedIn outreaches, especially those of you who want to do a corporate outreach. Last week, or I think the week before, the time before, we talked about corporate sales for some of you, and not all of you. I think maybe a few of you are looking to do corporate sales for workshops, etc., as well, to larger businesses like Google or Facebook, etc. And I can, to a certain extent, talk about that as well. We can also talk about how to increase your Google search. A number of you have been improving that as well, so that's gratifying to hear. I can also go over your presentations, PowerPoint slides. Now that we've talked to Sam Bennett, some of you are going, forget about the slides, but you still need an outline. So you want to have a good outline. Samantha does have an outline. It's usually 4 or 5 main points to cover. So I can go over those points with you and how to keep the flow going, even if you don't have a set of slides. Can also talk about increasing conversions. Again, a number of you have had a breakthrough in that, so that's really great to see and hear. How to build your email list, how to write great copy. And of course, there's way more than this. I know Mike Hayes is also an expert in live streaming strategy, how to fill your workshops, how to build your own tribe, how to build your speaking career. It's quite a lot we can cover here. Okay, so I just wanted to get you all thinking about what's possible here. Okay, location update. here in the Bay Area, I know I did mention it last week, Glenda has a location up in Vallejo, which is just a little bit north of San Francisco. It can seat up to 40 people. It's a lovely location. It's a homely kind of location. It's not exactly like a hotel corporate kind of setting, but it's definitely homely, good for workshops, good for meetup events, and could also be good for networking as well. It's a possibility if that fits your target market. So wanted to share that again. And I don't have any other real updates. I know in New York, we're building up our locations as well. So we've got a couple of locations thanks to Dr. Patricia Barrington there, who's got us a couple of nice locations in the Long Island area. And then Ginny, you, me, and Joanna, I'm going to get you guys together with Patricia to start an effort to find some free, if not very affordable locations in Manhattan to get that going. So anyway, that's in the East Coast, but I just wanted to cover that. Again, if you need help from me to find or help you negotiate locations, if you're getting stuck at all, you should definitely reach out to me as quickly as possible. If you're stuck in any way, you got to reach out. If you're not reaching out, even if you don't really know what you're stuck on and how to get unstuck, that's the time to reach out and get unstuck. So make sure you do that, okay? Because it's easy to really fall into the trap of, I'll just handle this myself. I'm not even sure what to ask. If you're not sure what to ask, you want to just say, hey, I'm getting stuck here, but I'm not even sure what it is. But that's to do with locations, and then we can help you, or I can at least help you to get unstuck. So make sure you do that, especially pertaining to locations. Okay, that's the location update. Any requests for locations really quickly, going once, twice, 3 times, any updates or any other contributions? Okay, very good. All right. Then opportunities, I want to give you an update on Alignable. So I had a great conversation with, I think all of you know what Alignable is. If you don't, ask me here in the chat box. I think all of you are familiar with the online platform Alignable, which helps you network and create a local presence in your area. But I spoke with their marketing person, and that had a great conversation. So she's completely enthusiastic about working with us. There are 2 possibilities specifically, and I shared this in the Facebook group page as well. One is possibly making all of you local leaders in your own areas. It's not going to cost you anything, it'll be free. And secondly, you will get some visibility. In fact, I'm already a local leader, and a couple other people have already reached out to me because I'm the local leader in the area, the Bay Area. So that's one thing. The other thing we talked about is this part of the first thing, really, but it's also I want to talk to you about some ideas of increasing your visibility on Alignable for your events, local in-person events as well as webinars. So you guys may want to pay attention here because you get an opportunity to promote your webinars as well. So a lot of the details are to be worked out. She's going to talk it over with Venkat, who's the CEO, who I also met before. And she and I have a scheduled call for next week to follow up. But I just wanted to give you an update for now. And that's really the thinking currently. The other thing that could come out of this, which may be a longer term positive effect for us, is that Alignable is, and this is all between you and I, there's nothing confirmed about it. Alignable has not agreed to do anything yet, but it's certainly a good idea that they start providing some Meetup-like functions for people like us. So the ability to post events, but also to promote it directly to people locally and get people to RSVP to your events and increase that functionality, as well as target people with certain demographic boundaries, just like how we do on Meetup. So that's where it's at right now. I think the Meetup functions and Alignable, that might take a little bit longer. But the local leader feature, I think will, I mean, it depends on what she's going to say when I next talk to her, but she seemed very enthused about it. She said it's probably not an issue. That could happen as soon as next week or 2 weeks. And again, I'll update you guys. Any questions, comments about Alignable? Going once, twice, 3 times a week. All right. And of course, the other opportunity is to do webinar exchanges with other people in the group. So, again, if you are unsure how to do that, ask me on these calls, and I'll tell you exactly how to do it. It's not that hard to do. Some of you already jumped on this as well. Dr. Vijaya in New York has been doing quite a lot of them, which is really great. And Julie Parker has, we now have close to 10,000 people in the Houston Wolfpack in all our meetup groups. That's a sizable audience just waiting for more webinar opportunities. So quite a lot. So even if you have a meetup group which has a few hundred people, we can still make it work. So again, let me know, okay? There are other opportunities, but I just want to really close it off at those for now and leave it there. But any other opportunities people want to share? Questions, requests for support, anything? Yeah. Anybody? All right. Okay. Once, twice, 3 times.
I do have one thing.
Yes. Go ahead, Mike.
I am now the executive producer of new media and business networking for a magazine here in the Walnut Creek area called Local Happenings. And they have a distribution of about 75,000 in, let's see, in Napa, Sonoma, and Contra Costa. This just happened. So I'm getting trained on all of the things about it. And I'm going to be doing networking interviews. And we're really turning the magazine, which is just celebrated its 10th anniversary. We're turning it into a real multimedia magazine around business networking, and it's brand new stuff. So that's all I really can say so far. But it's really an exciting opportunity, and it really suits my vision of the blend of what I call high visibility networking, and how to become a networking influencer. It's kind of, the steps are, first create some networking success, and then promote your networking success. That, hey, this is happening. This is, everybody wants to be part of a winner. So the more you promote your early success, then it becomes what I call compound interest networking. And so it's kind of a pun or a play on words, but it's the more interest you get in your offer, and the more you promote how much interest you're getting, then everybody goes, wow, that must really be something. I want to know more about that. And so that's how we're using the magazine. So I think we're going to be able to create a kind of a cyclical: networking promotes the magazine, magazine promotes the networking, and just, it's really cool. Very, very excited about this, but it all just happened. It's kind of like you with Alignable.
I like 2 things about what you said. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, this is definitely firm. So this is happening.
Great. 2 things about what you said. One is light networking influencer. That could be a name of a very good course. I just wanted to plant that seed for you.
What did you say?
Networking influencer. Become a networking influencer. It's like a good.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, and it could be a good course. It's what I said, or a good title for your course. The other, or your offering, I should say.
Yeah, no, I bought that domain. I bought tons of domains around all this stuff.
Okay.
So I'm ready to
That's
really
awesome.
hit this year.
Yeah. The other thing you said was brilliant, and now I can't remember it. But I promise you, it was brilliant.
I'm sure it was probably compound interest networking.
No, it was something else. It was.
That's what everybody seems to be really interested in, because Warren Buffett talks about you can do compound interest on your talents, on your learning, and it goes way beyond just money. And so I'm really applying the concept of compound interest to really everything I do now.
Yeah. Oh, I remember it now. Yeah, I like the compound interest, but what I thought was cool. The other thing I thought was cool was sharing with the 75,000 people what are the trending offers right now. So, like, I mean, for example, if one of your clients was Tony Thayer, and Tony Thayer's offer was trending upwards, then you could feature that in the magazines, and that could be part of being a client with you, as an example. Just thinking this through.
Well,
Yeah.
I share one thing that I'm doing. I'm doing business interviews about networking.
But you have to talk about how your business is involved in networking. And so in order to do that, to be part of that conversation, you do need to listen to my just almost finished masterclass on networking. So that way it motivates people to listen to the masterclass to really understand networking, because we have huge success stories. I mean, through the roof. And that's one thing. Then they want to know more about it. Then I interview them, so I learn more about them, and they contribute to the conversation about networking to help spread the word. Because think about networking, the more it grows, the more beneficial it is to everybody. So the more people understand networking and participate in it and talk about it, because the one thing everybody has in common at a networking event is an interest in networking. So when you start to talk to them about that, that's one thing everybody there has in common.
Right. Got it. Okay. Very clear. So, okay, yeah, networking opportunities for people. Very clear. Very good. Okay, awesome. All right, I want to get to questions here, and I want to get to Ginny Townsend. She had a question, I think, and she wanted guidance on how to reset her groups, right, Ginny?
Yes. So
as
I.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So as I am now prepared to set up my meetup groups here in New York, you had mentioned to me at one point on a previous call that you had some tips on setting up a successful networking group, or group that has networking as a core piece of it. So that was the question I had for you. So like in helping me set up my group.
Well, pretty straightforward. If it's just networking you want to do, I mean, networking groups can really.
No, it's not 100%, but I definitely wanted to incorporate it. I did not do that in my California groups, but I always found myself going to other people's networking group. So like I think it would be So it feels smart. It feels aligned with what I'm doing. So
Right. Well, then I would have like maybe 3 or 4, maybe even 6 groups, just depending how far you want to go with it, dedicated to networking.
Okay.
And you would call the group something like New York Premier Business Networking Meetup Group, something like that. Give me one second. I'm gonna mute everything. I'm hearing some background noise, and I'm gonna unmute you again, Ginny. So 1 second. Okay, so it could be that title, and then it's rather straightforward. There are a few minor details, but the main things are that I'm of the way I think about it is what works is just let people organically network. You know, a lot of people try to do like introductions and all that. It's a real pain in the rear end to do that, because then you have 15 hours of people doing 5-minute introductions, you know, which is just unworkable. Let people organically network and connect. It's far easier. You don't have to manage anything. Well, I do, you know, and Sandra and I do, you know, we walk around, we try to connect people. But as we're connecting people, we're also talking and sharing about what we offer. So we have a vending, I call it a vending table. We put our free consultation there primarily because that's where we want to get them to. So you can put your free session offer on that vending table. You could put it next to the welcome table. And the welcome table just has an email list. Of course, you benefit from the email list as well, and can continue making offers from the people who come because they get directly in an email list. So you could do like 3 groups that are just dedicated to networking, just purely networking, and just get the networking people coming in. You get way more people coming to a networking event, and you know, and they come and then they see you, and then they're more likely to engage with what you're, you know, what you're offering. So you could do it that way. And you know, you could do a networking event, one networking event once a month. A networking event, you could, I mean, it's easier sometimes to get a restaurant to host it for free, and then people just pay for the bar tab, etc. If it's a bar, if it has a bar to the side with some empty space, with some tables and chairs, obviously, and that's a very, you know, very doable location. As long as it's close to meetup locations in New York, the best ones are close to the subway stations. So you want to try and get something close to the subway station. A lot of real estate offices will probably be extremely interested in that because it brings people to them. And so you know, you could do it that way as well. And then, you know, when you could have other groups dedicated more to training on what you're offering as your business offering. But you could also post the networking events on those groups because it's relevant to them, right? So, you know, you could really super promote it very well. The other option is you could just have training groups and then have the networking event in there. It's another option, but you may not get as many people to the networking event as you could with just some dedicated networking groups.
Got it. Very good.
And we should probably spend some time. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Actually, I think you were maybe about to answer my question.
Okay, go ahead. What's your question?
Oh, well, I was just, as far as actually setting up the groups, were there any, I mean, I really liked your title, and so I'm just taking notes, by the way, if you hear me typing, but are there any other, I mean, are there any keywords that you have found? I know in a couple of rounds of me starting groups, there have been like, you know, new to town was one that was mentioned one time, or, you know, something like that, new to the area or something like that.
Yeah, that's
and I'm sure there's very obvious ones, but like, if there were any that you felt would be worth mentioning.
Oh, you know, when you're ready to set it up, I'll give you the list of target markets.
Oh, very good. Okay.
It's all figured out already. That's not a problem. Your title is different from your topics. Or topics is another meetup term for your target markets. So your target markets are pretty clear what you need to do. And you just want to, I mean, you and I need to probably sit down or have a call about what you want to offer. See, if you're, because depending on what you offer, you could have a different design for your other meetup groups which are not networking and design. You know, if you want to create a sales funnel on Meetup to your actual business offering, then that's a we may need to sit down and talk through that a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah,
but it begins with you having an offer. Okay. Why don't you reach out to me by email and say, you know, we want to set up a time to talk about that. I'll set up a time.
Okay.
But you want to give some thought to Yeah, no, and you want to give some thought to what your offer is going to be. And I think some people don't know who you are. So why don't you share a little bit about who you are for this group? This is a new group for you as well. So why don't you
Yes,
go
of
ahead and
course.
do
So my name is Ginny Townsend, if we haven't met, and I've done marketing consulting for a number of years. And these past couple of years, I've focused on helping people create webinars for their signature offer, which is I was like fist bumping Sam, when she was sharing her gold earlier in the call. But I've also kind of expanded a little bit based on the pain points of my clients, like into, I think one of the pain points, for instance, is where can I get more people to sign up for my webinar, like once it's live? And so I've created a course, but then also I offer helping people get more email leads, specifically for higher ticket offers. And so really, webinars are at the core, but then I've added lead generation for that at the beginning of my offering as well. So that is what I am about.
Oh, very great. And you are in the New York area now, right?
Yes. Yeah, we moved. We took 6 months to move from the San Francisco Bay Area to the New York area. So just in time for winter.
Awesome. Now, all right. Now you've got some groups in the Bay Area in Northern California here.
I do, yes. And I've been thinking about what to do with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what were you offering the group? Were they for women only, or I'm trying to remember what your groups were about? Yeah.
So when I had originally started them, they were for women only, and then as I expanded I guess that's really where I was about the time where I was settling into my webinar groove. I opened it up because a lot of my clients are men, and I love working with both men and women, and so I opened up the groups, made them a little bit more approachable for everyone.
Yeah. And what is it that you're offering? Is it general business education, or in those groups? Why did they join the groups is what I'm trying to ask. Yeah.
Got it. Yes. So they were like the name, or like kind of the theme around the groups was like up-level entrepreneur. So it really was about helping people up-level their sales, up-level their marketing, maybe up-level their networking, or up-level their operations, or if they're looking for funding, or, like legal help. So I wanted it to be broad enough that I could bring in a bunch of different, but yes. So moving forward in someone's entrepreneurial journey.
Right. Okay. That's good because it's general enough. Now let me take a look at it here. Up level.
Yeah, I have not posted anything for a bit, but feel free.
Right. Yeah. Let me take a look at it.
Yeah.
391.
Those are them.
Okay. Okay. Let's see if this is actually growing. Right?
Yeah. So the ones in the 300s were the ones that I was working on, really. And then I opened the one up, so those three were South Bay, and I opened up the San Francisco ones, and then we promptly moved. So those kind of went nowhere. But I still have them if anyone's interested in taking them over.
Okay. Let's see how many people waiting for this to populate here. Give me 1 second. And sort by. Okay, join. Just want to see if people are still joining. Looks like people are. Come on, machine. Do it. 10, 6, 5th, 1st. Okay, it's not really strong as I suspected. So it may be better to just delete these groups, and then you'll have more groups that you can apply to New York. So you'll have,
okay.
As long as you paid for the accounts, thus far you'll still have those groups available.
Interesting. So I could just delete them and start over, but still within the same account.
That's correct. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So, and Sandra Hughes is interested in taking them over too. So, which is fine. See, because if you, let's see, if you do, oh, actually, yeah, no, she can take it over. She'll have to set up 3 other groups. So, and let me bring in Sandra here so she can have this conversation. Hey, Sandra.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi.
So if it means that she could, take them and use the 3 spots for opening groups up in New York, then certainly close them down. But if you want somebody to take them over, I'd be happy to open 3 more groups and fold them in to those groups. However that works.
Yeah, I think because we're not getting a lot of engagement, Sandra. It may have to be an experiment to try, because we haven't posted events in these groups for a while. So it may be a good experiment because what may be impeding the growth is just to post more events. Sometimes you can revive a group or 2 or 3 or 6 if you just start posting events again, which you already have, Sandra. So we could test it out and see if it makes sense. So that might make sense. And then it's really no skin off the back for either. Well, for Ginny, because Ginny, once you transfer the groups over to Sandra, you can use those slots to open up groups in New York.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you're interested, Sandra, let's do it.
So why don't you guys connect and maybe take a look at it and see if it makes sense and all that kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. And yeah. Okay. No, I'm happy to. I mean, it's kind of, I'm looking at it and it's kind of like a why not, because we overlap. I think our, what you described, that who the target market is, I think perfect. So
okay. Well, I'd love to help.
They're already there.
Yeah.
Well, so I would love to help you too, because then you don't have 3 groups here that you're not going to, I mean, if you want to. So I'm happy to do it, because I was going to open more groups anyway. So if this,
okay, great.
Yeah, if this makes sense for you, that's great. I'm offering, but if it doesn't for any reason, that's fine. That's good.
Yeah, let's talk.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, she's got about, must be close to about, is it 1,000? Might be 1,000 actually. 100 here, 100 there, 200, 200, 320, 350, 450, plus 600. Yeah, she's got about 1,000 people in here, all in all.
Yeah. And you've got stuff up in San Francisco too. And I've got groups in San Francisco and the East Bay, and Sunil and I've talked about, having events up there now to get those groups, or to offer something to those people in those groups, because right now I post my South Bay events in those groups. But literally, I was going to tell Sunil this tomorrow when we have our one-on-one. I have at least one person from the East Bay show up at every event now. So they're coming up. That was what I wanted to say to Bernadine. People will go over the hill to San Jose from Santa Cruz if she posts her events in the Santa Cruz groups.
Right.
I've got people coming from the East Bay. And so there's a need there or a want or something. So,
right.
If you've got groups up in San Francisco, then that's great too.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So, think it through, talk it through. I mean, it's a win-win either way, however you guys decide.
Yeah.
Think this through. The other option, and you guys may want to talk this out too. I mean, Jenny, you could still do webinars maybe to the California people once in a while, and work that out with Sandra.
Yeah, that's
then,
great.
Just pay Sandra a commission in the back end, if you make any sales there. in
Wonderful. Yeah.
California. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can work something out definitely, because your skill set, what you're doing now, will certainly be desirable for my clients.
Yep.
Wonderful. Well, I look forward to talking.
Yes, me too.
All
Thank
right,
you.
great.
We're doing
Okay,
a deal
good.
here.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys connected. So, and then Ginny, make sure you email me, and you and I'll set up a time to design your other groups. Okay.
Will do. Thank you, Sunil.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, and let me see. Tony Thayer, I think is next. Hey, Tony. Hey,
Hey, Sunil, have I got, I'm unmuted now, okay.
Yep, I can hear you. Okay, good to hear from you again. All right, you had a great event last night, huh?
Well, it was cool, yeah. I had my second San Jose event and I had 15 people RSVP and 5 showed up. So
Okay. All right.
3 of them signed up for my offer. So I thought those were pretty good numbers.
Very good. So 5 out of 15. And okay, yeah, we should take a look at your groups first. So let me do that. Okay, these are your groups, right? You opened up a East Bay one too. Is that yours?
Yeah, I've got 2 sets of 3 now.
Okay, the young leaders is not growing as fast. Let's take a look at that. So you got 3 now. All these are 3, right? That are showing here.
These are the 3 in one set, which is my new set, and then I've got an older group of 3 that have more members.
Oh, okay, good. How come those are not showing up?
Yeah, it's weird. It's if you search by Tony Thayer, maybe I had somebody else struggling with that yesterday.
Oh, I just need to expand.
If you look up the East Bay NLP meetup, they should show up. One of them will show up.
Okay. Is this your group here, North Bay Young Managers?
Yep.
Okay.
Listen, so it's showing 4 of them.
Yeah, and this is Everyone Matters. Is that yours?
Mine, yep.
Okay. Yeah, that one you got 857. That's your big one, right?
Yeah, that's my oldest one, yeah.
Okay, got it. All right. Let's take a look at that one first. I think you may want to reposition this and make the title, unless it's totally different what you had before this.
Yeah, I'm planning to make this an East Bay centric title, but I just haven't moved in that direction yet.
Okay, so yeah, I would change the title to be more in the theme of what your other groups are titled right now, which is since this is in the where is this big group based in? Berkeley or Oakland?
Yeah, it's Berkeley.
Berkeley. Then I would call it maybe the North Bay, maybe not North Bay, Berkeley. Well, maybe just the Bay Area. Bay Area Young Managers Mentorship Meetup.
Yeah, I'll get around to that. I've been throwing so many groups up here. I figured I'd leave that one with all the members unchanged for right now, so I didn't disrupt people's patterns.
Okay. Are people still joining the group? Should probably join the group too. Are people still joining this group?
Yeah, I just posted a meetup for tomorrow. I think late last week. So I really kind of dropped the ball, but I had troubles I've got a new venue in Berkeley that I'll be using for my meetups. And it took me like weeks to get that thing sorted out. So I'd hoped to get this posted a while ago. But my strategy now is to have 4 meetups a month in Berkeley. I've got this venue where I've got a space every week. I'm planning to do 2 of them around the management mentorship program. I've got this old group with over 400 members called the East Bay NLP thing. So a friend and I are reviving that, and I just plan to cross-link it to try and raise my awareness so people see it more.
Okay, I see.
So that's kind of what I wanted feedback on. I just sort of committed that I'm going to be in front of people in a 4-pay venue 4 weeks a month.
Yeah, that will definitely do it. That's what me and Bill did. early days, and that's how we grew our business.
Okay.
We just did meetup events every week. The more events you do, just the greater, it just starts working. So that's a good idea generally. So if you do what, how many in the North Bay and how many in the South Bay? Are you?
Well, I've got 3 areas. So I'm also working with what is it, Ginny, or up in Vallejo, Glenda.
Glenda, right?
So I posted this thing on North Bay. I've only had one person sign up for it. It's been up for 3 weeks. So and that's for next week. I'm thinking I'll cancel that, but I wanted to check with you. I didn't think that was going to be a prolific area anyway for my kind of people, and it doesn't seem to be generating.
It may not be. I mean, what was? So did you open up a group for that, or you just posted?
Yeah, it's called the North Bay. If you go back to the list of that you just had up under Tony Thayer, it's the North Bay Young Managers or something like that.
Okay, let's see.
And it's got like 29 members, and one person signed up for the meetup. I mean, it's been up there for 3 weeks. So
let me take a look.
North Bay Young Managers.
Okay. Yeah, North Bay, hard to really. Okay, let's see. Ugh, come on, machine. Trying to see our topics here. Oh man, annoying. All right, so let's see. Got 15 topics here. Looks that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're big. These are big topics, so that should be fine. People may not understand North Bay Young Managers. That may be part of the problem. You centered it.
If they're within 20 minutes of Vallejo, they're in the North Bay. And that's what they would.
Okay. Right. I see. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't look like. Let me look at this. This is meetup for you. We have the same copy there, so that's fine. And. Who's your co-organizer? Is that okay? Doesn't matter. Okay, so join the group. All right. Oh, let me check. Yeah, it's not growing much. 29 members, and it's 3 weeks.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I'll just repurpose this back into the like maybe I'll do a San Francisco group.
Yeah, that's probably the thing to do. Yeah. If you sent it in Vallejo, tough to do because Vallejo, kind of.
Yeah, I thought since Glenda had that location, I'd give it a shot, but it's
right. Yeah. So I mean, generally speaking, yeah, if you had those 3 areas and you are using more or less the same copy and the same theme of titles, and just make sure you use a different photograph for the main page here.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I've been playing with photographs, and I notice I get a really interesting response to them. Like I've got one of the East Bay ones. I got a picture of a group of like 8 people, and 7 of them were women. And everybody who signed up for the meetup through that site has been a woman. It's been like, and I haven't had many women sign up for any of my other meetups. So I thought that was kind of an interesting.
Well, yeah, it stands to reason because, women are always looking to connect with other women, just feel safer with other women around. So that's why I try to have women and men in the group.
So I've been putting up different pictures in almost all of my meetup events just because I'm kind of curious to see if I notice any patterns. And this one's not pulling anything in, so.
Right.
Change that and let it play another week.
Okay, yeah, but generally, I mean, the feedback to your strategy is, yeah, I would do that. And then when you set it up on a Sunday, just send me the login and password for each of your accounts.
Okay.
And then I can go through the event, the groups that you just set up, and just make sure they're set up correctly,
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely do that. But make sure you do it on a Sunday, obviously, which I think you already know. I think that's good. You may want to line up another event. Oh, you're going to do it every week.
I'm going to line up 5 events for February, and I've got 1 event tomorrow and 2 events next week.
Great. Awesome. I think that's great. Yeah, I think that, do you have a total population for all your meetup groups thus far? I know.
I've got 8, 12, 13. I got about 1,400.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Okay, that's a good build. Okay, well, good work.
Well, I mean, 857 of those are from like actually
Oh,
the
right.
466 and the 857 were pre-existing meetups. So I'm just like reviving them.
Oh, right. Yeah, I understand now. Okay, yeah. Let's do that first, and then maybe at some point. I mean, your old groups are growing. Well, you just want to make sure you're growing. Just check to see if they're really growing, like people are actually joining.
Yeah.
If they're joining like every day, then I would just keep it the way it is for now.
Yeah,
But if they're-
I get some like one person a day pretty much across the 6 of them. So I'm going to start posting 2 or 3 times a week on LinkedIn, sort of like a blog.
Okay.
And I was thinking I'd just start getting my name out there and telling stories about leadership on Facebook, just to kind of draw some attention. I don't have a base there to invite people into events yet, but I figured I'd just build that up. And then I'm planning to start a mastermind targeting 9 to 12 people for April 1st. I just set that date last week, and I'm going to try and drive business into it through my offers.
Great. Okay.
So
And
what I really wanted to share is, like, last night I did this meetup. I didn't have any friends there, and I was like not as nervous as I had been the month before when I did my first meetup. But a couple of times in the middle of the meetup, I just realized, like, wow, I feel like I'm on a tightrope with no net. I'm just, but it all went great. It's just like I got over that sort of sense of jitters and worry about like whether I was focusing on the right things. I really refined my slide deck, and it just went great. I mean, people were in it and signing up for it. And even though it was a small turnout, I got 3 out of the 5 people to go for my free offer. So I just feel like I'm starting to get my sea legs, and I'm really excited.
very great. Awesome. Yeah, that's how you do it. The more often you do it, the more comfortable you get. Then you start looking at the next breakthrough. And so, if you had 3 out of 5 pull a free session, that's a great outcome. That's 3 out of 5 is 75%.
Yeah.
So 75% room is extraordinary. That's great. So
percent, but yeah, yeah,
whatever it is.
and
Right.
I'll just get better. I'll just get better as I do this. So I'm stoked, and I'm really feeling like I'm starting to build both momentum and confidence in myself as I do this. So I guess I'm just saying thank you. It's like this group has been helpful for me to just like get over myself and just get out there. And it's been...
Hey, you're absolutely welcome. Yeah, I had no doubt, as I have no doubt about any of you. It's just a matter of getting out, and then you get validated by the market, which, the market is starving for every one of you to come out and, show your stuff, because they really do need it. There's a tremendous amount of demand for this. And it's probably way more than even I realize. So yeah, you're welcome, and appreciate your acknowledgement. Thank you. It's really great. Great to see you, finding your sea legs and all that as well. Good. Well, so yeah, the next thing to do is do more events and start working on converting people from the free consultation into being clients.
Yeah.
And then you'll be off and running again. So,
yeah, so I'm going to want to start doing webinars probably in March. So I'll just publicly declare that here, and I'll probably schedule a call with you at some point to get some tips on how to get that going.
Yeah, sure. Or just come on a group call. It's not terribly complicated. You already have a PowerPoint, so all you need really to do the webinar is a Zoom account and a link for people to sign up for your free consultation.
Yeah.
To schedule it. Yeah. And that's all you really need right now. So you maybe good to go. But go at your pace, see what's right. But yeah, I mean, webinars in March, not a problem. And that people here will, do do webinar exchanges with you as well. So probably not a problem to do in March. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you, Sunil.
Okay, great. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, you're welcome, man. Awesome. Okay, so we're at 5:25. Did I cover all the questions? Anybody? Did I miss anybody?
Hey, Sunil, had a couple questions.
Hey, Millen, right? Is that you, Millen?
Milton, sorry, I haven't been on the call in a while, but Milton.
Oh, Milton, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So two things. One question is regarding LinkedIn. I just wanted to see, can you help me construct a message to get kind of leads off LinkedIn? I think Millen spoke with you discussing meetups is becoming an issue with compliance. And second question I wanted to ask you was, I don't know if this is something that can be addressed on the call, but how do we get into high net worth client market?
The second one is going to be a longer answer. But
okay.
The first one, you're talking about are you trying to get consultations with people?
No, so that's the thing with compliance. It's hard to market for like the consultation side of it. So I'm thinking of trying to maybe use LinkedIn just to sell like basic term life insurance, like use something or long-term care insurance. So because there's less compliance when it comes to term insurance or long-term care insurance. So I say I can maybe use LinkedIn as a source to get business for that.
That's interesting. Let me think it through. Long-term insurance. Well, you could reach out to entrepreneurs and business owners and do an outreach from the point of view that as an entrepreneur, you need long-term insurance to the best business benefits. I would emphasize that. So maybe
long-term care insurance.
Yeah, there is. I don't know. I mean, for
okay.
I mean, for business owners, they need to think about that, right? In case they get to an accident or something, or they die, or I mean, they need some continuity, right? Because you see, your audience on LinkedIn is mostly professionals or business people. I mean, for the most part. So if you do an outreach, you gotta. I mean, you can do it. The trouble with what you're offering is just there's so many options like that going around. See, so you gotta make it distinct. So when you make the outreach on LinkedIn, they get that it's for insurance, but it's the way you frame it is highly relevant to what they need as a business person or a professional. So that's what you may need to sit and think through with Millen is if you're talking to a business owner, for example, what would be the most compelling feature of insurance that would appeal to that business owner? And then when you get that clear, then maybe reach out, come on this call again, and then I can craft the message for you,
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah. Now, premium clients, well, the best
this should be a one-on-one call. So I'm talking when I say,
but the thing is, for you gotta see the best way to get premium clients is actually to do a 2-day workshop. Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Hello.
Okay. The best way to can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got intermittent internet here, so bear with me. The best way to get premium clients is usually doing a workshop. And again, it kind of depends on what you want to offer them. So if it's premium clients, I think from reading between the lines, you may have to do a little bit more consulting or work with them or to find the right kind of investment matching. People here in the Bay Area like to be educated, and they're willing to go for a financial workshop for even 2 days if it's in-depth enough and it gives them some good background in finances, etc. And those kind of workshops can close pretty well. I mean, you could do a half day, you could try that, but the advantage of 2-day is that they have overnight to think about it. 2-day doesn't mean you could do the whole day. You could do like 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock or something each day, you know? And then the second day, you do what I call a fireside chat. I've done this before with some other financial planners. You do a fireside chat. So it's not really by a fireside, but you have a more intimate round table, bring some food in, and then answer questions, etc. You know, just make it a freewheeling call and then make your offer for what you offer.
Is it possible to?
But it kind of depends. Go ahead.
Sorry, is it possible to target them or reach out to them through LinkedIn?
You could, but again, it depends. You can. So to answer your question straight, yes, you can. But you want to make sure your offer is good, but you may have to do like 3 or 4 stages in the outreach. You don't want to give them. You don't want to make the offer right away because money and high net worth individuals, these people take their time. Especially for something like this. Unless they can see the immediate IR, the internal rate of return, and it makes sense for them. They're usually quite savvy. Not all of them, but usually quite savvy. So you may have to do like 3 stages or 4 stages of outreach before you can close them.
Can we set up a call, because the strategy that I discussed is a little bit complicated to explain right now. So maybe you can give me some insight on what's a good way to market that strategy.
Can you reach out to me by email and we'll set up a time?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem.
Okay.
Okay, fabulous. We're at 5:32. Good questions. Appreciate it all. Thank you, Milton, for questions. Thank you, everybody, for the questions. And so the only announcement I have right now is we're on same time next week. So last opportunity for questions, going once, twice, 3 times, lady. All right, you guys have a great week ahead and great successful week. And I'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Have a great week. Okay.
Thanks. You too, Sunil.
Thanks, Sunil.
Okay.
Thank you,
bye-bye.
Sunil.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.